Guys, it is Fonzie with DipYourCar.com. Now, after over a year of testing and development, months of teaser pictures and people going crazy on YouTube and Facebook, DipYourCar is finally launching and releasing our DYC DipPearl High Gloss Top Coat in gallons. This has been the most anticipated product that's come out since the beginning of the dipping industry a little over 3 years ago. It's very versatile. It has a lot of amazing attributes and things that it can do. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the entire project. I'm going to give you everything that I think you need to know to make sure that you get your money's worth and the result that you want if you decide to purchase this product. Now, one thing I've never done for you guys, I've never oversold anything. I tell you exactly what something is and what something isn't, so that when you get it, you know exactly what to expect. Now, there's a lot of data and information I'm going to dump on you guys today, so we're not even going to be spraying a whole car in this video. We've done a bunch before this video, and we're going to do a lot after. So if you want to see what this top coat can look like, there's a lot of videos and stuff that we can show you. But in this video, I want you to digest as much of the information as possible so you know how to use the product and get the most out of it. So we're going to cover the uses, the do's and don'ts, the troubleshooting, everything. So sit back, make sure you pay attention, and enjoy the video. Now let me quickly explain to you guys what this product is and what it excels at, what it should be used for and what it shouldn't. This product does two things extremely well, and I'm going to demonstrate both of them for you today. The first is you should use this product whenever you're dipping your car with pearls or flakes or additives. You get your base coat down on the car and then you add your pearls or your flakes into this product. The clarity and the way that it suspends those pearls and flakes is going to make it beat anything else that's out there for those coats, and I'll show you that in a moment. The second thing it does extremely well is it allows you to apply this product on top of any essentially flat base coat or pearl or flake coats and end up with a high gloss finish. Now there's ways to get that done right and ways to get that done wrong, and I'll go over that as well. But again, I want to make sure you guys understand what this should and shouldn't be used for. What this product is not is it's not a clear bra product. We'll have a specific product for clear bra protection out in the future. So this is a top coat. It should be applied over a foundation of a dip type foundation, whether it be 5 coats of black PDS, for example. This should be a top coat only. And what this product also is not a replacement or a duplicate of OEM auto paint top coat. It's a removable coating. It does what it's supposed to extremely well, but this does not replace OEM clear coat. Now, we talked about it being used for pearls. Let me demonstrate and show you how we can use this product for pearl coats. Now I'm going to jump in here and demonstrate for you how you should apply this product when you're using it for your pearl coats, but I want to show you something real quick. These are two different speed shapes. Now both of these speed shapes have the same amount of product on it and the same amount of pearl. These are both GC47 Alien Pearl. The one in this hand is 2 coats of black as a base and then 2 coats of GC47 Alien Pearl using the new DipPearl top coat. No gloss coats have been applied. This is again 2 coats of black PDS as a base and then 2 coats of GC47 Alien Pearl using the 50-50 mix. Now I'm going to bring them in and I want you to see if you guys can notice the difference. You should see not only a difference in gloss, but a difference in clarity as well. And we'll make sure we get you guys some close-ups of this. But you can see the sparkle, you can see the depth, you can see the clarity. The pearls look completely different. Now there's still the same essential flip and color that you notice on this that we're used to. Looking at it next to something that's been applied with the DipPearl top coat, it's just a completely different ballgame. Now what we're going to do now is demonstrate for you how to use the product as a pearl coat. So as far as how much pearl you need, everything stays the same. So what we got is a test hood here with 3 coats of standard light blue PDS, and we're going to apply a nice color matching pearl over it, the Suzuka Blue DipPearl. So I've got 50 grams of Suzuka Blue DipPearl in 1 gallon of DipPearl top coat, and I'm going to walk you through how I would apply this onto a car because the spraying technique makes a very, very big difference. Okay, I've got my DYC dip sprayer here. Now when you're using this product for pearl coats, the equipment that you use is not as critical as when you're going to be using the product for high gloss coats. And later on in the video, we're going to talk in depth about equipment. So I got my DYC dip sprayer here. I've got 3 coats of light blue PDS down as my base. And again, I've got a 50 gram to 1 gallon ratio of Suzuka Blue DipPearls in my hopper here. Now when I'm going to be spraying this product, we really want it to be as smooth as possible. Whenever you're going for high gloss, and right now we're just talking about pearls, but again, it's going to have a nice clean sheen to it. We want it to be smooth. The key to spraying it smooth is going to be wet coats. You can't take this product and mist it on from a distance and expect it to end up being smooth. We really have to elevate our game here. And again, we're going to go over this a little bit more in depth in the gloss part of the video. And if I repeat myself a million times in this video, I actually just don't care because I really want you guys to retain this stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting my pearl coats on, and I'm going to go with a 50% overlap, drawing a wet edge across the entire hood, and then step back. All right guys, our first coat of pearls is dry. It's nice and flat and smooth, and that really comes from laying that stuff down nice and wet and dragging that wet edge across the surface. Now after 1 coat here, we have a color matched pearl, so we have actually pretty good coverage. I'm always going to go up to around at least 3 coats to make sure I have a solid pearl on there, but you can already see the reflection and the sheen, and that's going to be way above and beyond where we would be if this was just the 50-50 mix. So again, if we're just focusing on using this product for a pearl finish, we got 2 more coats to go. We're going to keep it nice and wet and keep going back and forth. All right guys, we finished up. We've got 3 coats of the Suzuka Blue Pearl over the light blue base, and this is just exactly what I told you it's going to be, a crisp, clean satin finish. It's almost like a semi-gloss would be the best way to describe it. Now, if you're only going to be using the DipPearl top coat for a pearl finish car and you're not going for high gloss, this is where you would stop. Now, you should be able to end up with this quality of a finish. The majority of users, as long as they pay attention to how they're spraying the product, should end up with this. When you start getting into the high gloss is when things get a little bit more difficult and a little bit more complicated. But again, if you're just using the product for a pearl finish, this is where you're going to stop. It's nice and dry, it's slick to the touch, and you're done. Now, let's talk about getting a little bit more into the high gloss area. Okay guys, we've got our pearl finish here. Now let's talk about the high gloss. If you're buying this product and expecting a high gloss end result, there's some things that you should keep in mind. Getting a high gloss finish, like you see in the DYC videos and pictures, is not very easy. It is exactly what it should be. It's a higher end, more advanced technique. Not everybody who picks this gallon up is going to be able to make their car look like the DYC cars. It's very important to communicate this message because this is not a turnkey automatic product where you pop some high gloss into a gun, you shoot it on any way you want, and you're done. If you don't spray it properly, you're not going to end up with the results that you're looking for. So I'm going to walk you through a couple techniques that I'm going to keep in mind and demonstrate for you here when spraying the high gloss. We've got our pearl finish here. If you're going to be going after a high gloss finish, you should really be doing the high gloss over a pearl finish. You're going to get a much easier high gloss result over a pearl finish than you will if you're going over a flat color like a black PDS. So for example, if we were just shooting over the light blue PDS here, yes, we could definitely achieve a high gloss finish with 3 or 4 coats, but it's going to be much easier to get a high gloss finish over pearl. So keep that in mind as you go forward. Also, when you're spraying the high gloss, you have to keep in mind it has to go on wet. There's no other way to describe this to you. If you spray it from too far away, or if you spray it way too heavy and too thick, the product's simply not going to level properly, and you're not going to end up with the results that you want. I'm telling you guys this because it's important for me, for you guys to get your money's worth out of the products that you buy from DipYourCar and to get the results that you expect. So if you're going to go after a high gloss finish, you have to pay attention to these instructions, and it has to be executed properly. If you use the product and you don't get the result that you want, it is 100% in the hands of the user. So with that said, we've got our pearl finish here. Now we're going to go for a high gloss. If you're going for a high gloss, minimum of 3 coats of the gloss on top of the pearl. Don't do 1, don't do 2, and expect high gloss to, for it to look like you see in the DYC videos. In the high gloss DYC videos, we tell you we used 3 coats minimum. Some people, I'm sure, are even going to go above that. So we're going to go for 3 coats for our high gloss. And as far as spraying it, that wet coat, dragging that wet edge is everything. Again, right here, we're going to be using the DYC sprayer. At the end of the video, I'll talk to you a little bit more in depth about equipment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my DYC sprayer, I'm going to go with a wet coat, and I'm going to drag that wet edge across the car. I'm not going to mist it. I'm not going to kind of just let it fall on. I'm going to come pretty close. I'm about 3 to 4 inches away, just so that as soon as the product hits the hood, it immediately wets out, and then I'm not going to stay there very long. I'm going to move quickly, and I'm going to drag that wet edge across the car in a 50% overlap all the way down, and then walk away. I've got my DYC sprayer here. I've got the DYC High Gloss Top Coat here in my sprayer, and I've got my sprayer set up so that I'm looking for about a 6 to 7 inch fan. Whenever I'm using the DipPearl Top Coat, whether it be for pearl coats or for gloss coats, I always go for just about a 6 to 7 inch fan. Any more, and we're going to be putting product and air in areas that we don't want it. Any less, we're going to be putting too much product in too small of an area, and we can end up with runs. Now, again, we're going after a wet coat here, and I'm telling you 100% honestly that this is not the easiest thing to do. This takes some practice and it takes some skill. There's a fine line between putting on this product in a wet fashion and putting it on too wet and working, getting some runs or some drips. If you're going to be doing this for your own car, or more importantly, if you're a professional and you're going to be using this product on a customer car, this is unlike anything else that you've used before. So practice. All right, guys, our first coat of gloss is completely dry now, and I like to kind of think of this as like my seal coat. After I'm done with all my pearl coats, I get that first nice wet coat of gloss on there, and that kind of seals everything in. This is like my seal coat. It gives a nice, crisp, beautiful reflection. We're getting really up into that higher gloss area now, but you don't start to really see that high gloss until the second, actually third coat. So we've got our seal coat on there. It's nice and dry, really smooth, no drips, no runs. Nice and flat. We're going to do the exact same thing for the second and then third coat, and we'll come right back. Now guys, I'm not wearing a respirator for this specific application because I'm talking throughout the process. Obviously, whenever you're dipping anything, wear your respirator. We've got all of our exhaust systems in our shop here going right now. All right, guys, now this is 3 coats of the DYC DipPearl Top Coat. It's bone dry, and you've seen us do this before. The Mocha Brown S8 video, the Orange Challenger video, both of those, again, had 3 coats of the high gloss on top of the pearl coats. And it's extremely glossy. There's a nice, crisp, clean reflection in it. And although it is very, very glossy, again, and I said this is not to replicate or replace OEM clear coat, but for what it is and for what it does and the cost and the ease of use, it does an extremely good job at producing a high gloss top coat, light years ahead of anything else that was out there, including the glossifier from the Plasti line. So right now you could go and stop right here or 3 coats. We haven't done 4 coats on any videos yet. I know there's going to be people out there that go to 4 or even 5 coats, and yes, the more you stack the product, the glossier it's going to get. Just keep in mind, the more product you put on a car, just like any other removable coating, the harder it's going to be to keep it perfectly smooth. And with a gloss finish, everything comes down to texture. You could have the glossiest product in the world, but if it's not a smooth finish, it's not going to look very glossy. So even though this product is capable of a mid-90s gloss reading, if it's not applied properly, it's not going to look very glossy. So it's really in your hands as far as how this product comes out on your car. So now let me walk you through a little bit more about some equipment, some do's and don'ts, and some aftercare for the product. Now let's talk about what equipment is needed in order to use this product. Now, all the videos that we do, all the cars that we spray, I use the DYC sprayer system. Now, obviously, I do that for a reason, because I want to use and show what we sell and support. So everything you see us use is the DYC sprayer system, and that's for pearl cars, gloss cars, and everything. Now, does that mean that everybody who picks up a DYC sprayer system is going to be able to replicate my results on your car? Well, no, it does not. I use this system every single day. I've used it for a long time. I've developed it. This is something that's very, very comfortable for me, and I would say that I have a lot of experience with it. If you don't have the same experience that I do with this, you may not be able to replicate my results. So the question comes up, do you need a high-end sprayer system to use this product? Do you need a compressor gun? Do you need a 5-stage, 4-stage turbine? The answer is no. Obviously, you can get these results using the DYC sprayer system just like I do, but it has to be done properly. Your skill set, your experience level, your patience, following directions, everything has to be there. Don't expect to just pick up a DYC sprayer system, not pay attention, not follow instructions, and not have the supporting skill set and get a perfect gloss finish. Being realistic with you guys is extremely important during this product launch. Now, the question is, well, what if I want to use something a little bit higher end? Am I going to get better results with a better system? And the answer, just like anything else in the world, is yes. If you use high-end equipment, it's going to break up and atomize the product better, and you can probably end up getting a better result with the high-end equipment versus the low-end. Now, that's not everything. Skill set is way more important than high-end equipment. I promise you, I could get a better result using this DYC sprayer for 150 bucks using this product than somebody who's never used the product before or who has a lower-end skill set can get with a $2,000 or $3,000 paint system. It's a skill set comes first, but higher-end equipment does help throughout the process. Now, let me talk to you a little bit more about the aftercare of the car when you use the high gloss coating. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about the aftercare of your car after it has the high gloss finish on it. It's very, very easy to wash. It's very easy to keep clean, and there's some maintenance that you want to do on it. Now, there's going to be a couple questions that come up. First of all, is it gasoline resistant? The answer is no. This product is not gasoline resistant. It's still a solvent-based material like a Plasti dip, and you want to avoid getting gasoline on the car. The second thing is it scratch resistant? And the answer is yes. It's harder, it's slicker, and it's more marring and scratch resistant than standard Plasti dip is or standard glossifier. However, every single car that gets this product on it should have DipCoat on it. It feels pretty good without the DipCoat. When you put DipCoat on this car, it feels and sounds exactly like auto paint. Car keys, right off the top. It's extremely slick. And you know what? Ask London from Dip Hawaii. Had this product on his car for a couple weeks, and the one thing that he messaged me is, dude, it keeps freaking me out because as my hand hangs out the window and touches the side of the car, I keep forgetting that it's dipped because it really does feel like paint. So wash the car all the time just like you normally do. The product can be waxed with certain waxes. I know that a couple of them that we've been using have gotten excellent results, and we're going to share those with you once we do some long-term testing on it. Don't go out there and start experimenting with waxes. Wait for us to find one that works perfectly every time. In the meantime, just stick with one application of DipCoat every week or 2 weeks. It's completely mar resistant, and it feels super, super slick to the touch. You guys are really going to enjoy the way that this feels. Okay, now let's talk about a little bit of troubleshooting, some issues that you may run into when using the product. The first thing we're going to talk about, obviously, is texture. There are a lot of variables that can come in if your product doesn't look like our cars or our results here with that smooth, flat end result. If you end up with texture, you have to take a look at what you're doing. What gun are you using? Is that gun spraying a perfectly even spray pattern? Or is it top heavy or bottom heavy? Is the gun spitting? You want a perfect football shaped paint pattern. You don't want any spitting up or down on it. Is your spray pan a little bit too big or too small? Are you fully wetting out the coats? That is going to be the biggest one, I promise you. Once all these gallons come out to the masses and people start using them, you're going to see some people that use the product and end up replicating our results. It's going to be outstanding. Some people are going to post a picture and it's going to look kind of like standard glossifier, and you're going to be like, why does that not look like DYC's? The texture is everything. If you want a high gloss finish, the film on top has to be smooth. There's no way it's going to look high gloss if it's not smooth and flat. So when you're talking about texture, look into, are you fully wetting out? You should be dragging a wet edge across the entire surface of the car, and it should all gel together in one nice little ocean and then dry flat as one panel. If you're misting it on and droplets are falling on their own, those droplets are going to dry on their own, and then you're going to see that texture. I'm going to tell you this right now. A lot of the dips out there that people are doing with the matte finish look absolutely awesome. But there's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to have that texture a little bit more exposed now, because when you're using high gloss, everything shows. So please pay attention to what you're doing and practice. This is not beginner level dipping. This is higher end advanced techniques. Now, the other thing you want to talk about and think about when you're using a high gloss coating is the potential for blushing. That's when you put your high gloss coatings on, and when it dries and cures, there's a little bit of cloudiness. It doesn't dry perfectly clear. You're going to run into this sometimes if you don't pay attention to a couple things. First and foremost, you don't want to put the product on too heavy or too wet, especially on horizontal surfaces. If you spray your hood, for example, and you really pound it on and you put it really, really heavy down on there, those solvents, as they flash up and evaporate, are going to hover over the top of those horizontal panels, and you may end up with a little bit of blushing there. So make sure, like I showed you, make sure you're wetting out, but move nice and brisk. Move back and forth swiftly. You want it to be wet, but not heavy. Keep that in mind. Wet, but not heavy. Also, with blushing, you want to avoid any dramatic temperature or climate changes while the product is drying. If you get a nice gloss coat on your car, don't go inside, outside, introduce a lot of rushing cold air or hot air. You want the climate and the atmosphere around the drying and curing car to remain steady and even the whole time. We have been able to introduce some blushing here at DYC through testing. For example, maybe it's 78 or 80 degrees outside here during the winter time or during the fall while we're spraying the car, and maybe inside it's 60 or 65 with the AC. If we put all that wet coating on the car and we open that door and all that cold AC rushes out, we can introduce blushing there. So keep the climate and the temperature and humidity consistent as the product dries. Now, of course, if you have any problems or any questions or any troubleshooting needs while you're using the product or before or after, you can always call customer service at DipYourCar. Somebody will walk you through it from A to Z and make sure that we get to the bottom and the root of the problem so you can enjoy the product. All right, guys, that should summarize everything I think you need to know at this point about the DYC DipPearl TopCoat. Now, the TopCoat is available right now live at DipYourCar.com. Now, it's only at DipYourCar.com or DYC resellers. Do not accept any imitations. This is the product that we use in our videos, and this is the product that we want you guys to use as well. If you have any questions at all, you know how to get in touch with us. We'll do the best we can to work you through. And remember, this is a product that can give you outstanding results and finishes, but it has to be done right. It's a fair thing to say, and I want to make sure that we're honest with you through the entire process, because we want you guys to really enjoy this product. All you have to do is sit down, pay attention, and make sure that you practice. Everybody out there can spray cars the way that I spray them. You just have to make sure that you practice and pay attention and hone your skill set. That's what it's all about. Now, if you see the cars that we do and you see this product, and this is just outside of your comfort zone or your skill zone, go on to DipYourCar.com, click Find a Local DYC Installer, and find the local DYC installer in your state. All those guys are more than ready and capable of applying this product on your car and getting it done correctly. So what I'm going to leave you with is some video clips showing some of the cars that we've done with the DYC Top Coat so you know what it's capable of. It's Fonzie. I really hope you guys enjoy this stuff. This is a very big thing for me. I've never been happier. I hope you enjoyed the video.